Well, hello, friends, family, YouTube members. Welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, I am Mama Robin or Texas Beach Mom, whichever you prefer. And this is my Friday Night Live. Um, just got out of the shower not that long ago. Hair's almost dry though. I don't have as much of as I used to. And it is Friday the 13th. um, I didn't go anywhere today. I don't leave the house on Friday the 13th. I'm not what you would call superstitious under normal circumstances. But back when I was 17, on Friday, October 13th, I was in a really bad car accident. I rolled a Ford Pinto down a 12-foot embankment and walked away from it. Car wasn't in good shape, but I was fine. Now, while that's very lucky for me, I haven't been willing to get in a car on Friday the 13th unless I absolutely have to. But that's not why I'm here. So tonight we're going to talk about the Menendez brothers. See, I have problems with that every time I talk about them. We're going to talk about the Menendez brothers. There's not a lot of new developments, but there's a couple. So most of you already know their backstory. That over 35 years ago, they murdered their parents. And for the abuse they were going through. And then they had one trial, and it was a hung jury. And then they had a second trial, and they were told in second trial they couldn't talk about their essay or any of the abuse at all, which was horrible, but whatever. So they were sentenced to life in prison without parole. Okay. Well, over these actually pretty much since that Netflix documentary came out called Monsters, even though it was very inaccurate, a lot of people watched it. A lot of people felt like they should be loose, should be given a second chance. They've been in there for over 35 years. So while it was an inaccurate documentary, it did bring a lot of attention to their case. And because it brought a lot of attention to their case, now people think they should be out. So it eventually got to, the DA at that time. Hold on a second. It got to the DA at the time, DA Gascon, and he thought, after going over their case, they should be released. So he was going to recommend that they get a resentencing of 50 years instead of life. And because they were under the age of 26, and because they'd already done 35 years, they would get out sooner. Actually, they would be paroled. They were supposed to go to court on December 11th. And in between when he started doing this and their court on December 11th, he got voted out and a new DA got voted in. So their court case has now been pushed off till January 30th. And the new DA has kind of sort of said that he's just going to re-examine the whole case. He has said he's going to re-examine the whole case. He's want to do this, he's going to do that, blah, 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 blah. But, and I don't know this man. This is just what I've heard. Just things, that I've read or interviews I've heard or things I've seen on TV. Rumors about the man. I said he's kind of a hard ass. And he did say something to the effect of, tell those boys not to get their hopes up. So they do have a resentencing coming up it was supposed to be December 11th, and now it's going to be January 30th. But whereas before on December 11th, if they'd have had it with guests gone, they probably would be out in time for Christmas. Now, they're not going to be running around loose just doing what the hell they want to do. They'll be on parole. They would have been on parole. But they were planning on being out on parole and home with their family in time for Christmas. And because back when the first trial happened, there were so many family members that stood by them, and so many family members that are still standing by them. These family members are coming forward and still saying these kids need to be out. Jose was a monster. I mean, the DA that prosecuted the case back then said she could not find one person, not one person, to say that Jose Menendez was a good person. Couldn't find one person to say that. Not even his friends, family, nothing. The only person that would say anything nice about him was his secretary. But whatever the case may be, like I said, in the first trial, it was a hung jury. The second trial, they weren't allowed to talk about their essay or their other abuse, which is ridiculous. They had family members testify for them. They had a cousin that testified for them in the first one that has, since all this has happened, in between then and since then, I don't know when he did this, but he's no longer with us. Let's just put it that way. But there's been so many family members that still back them. They still think they should be out on parole. Like I said, not just run around willy-nilly here, but on parole. And with Gascon, like I said, the case would have been December 11th. They probably would have been on parole and home by Christmas. But now with this new DA, I think they're going to be stuck there. A lot of the reasons why because, I know more about this case now than I did yesterday. I know more about it yesterday than I did 2 weeks ago. So forth and so on, As things happen, you learn more about cases. They have many cousins, aunts, uncles, all kinds of family left. They have tons of family left. There's relatives of Kitty's that are still here, relatives of Jose. They have nieces and or cousins and stuff that are not nieces and nephews. Well, no, not nieces, but cousins and stuff that have also. There's probably, I think there was like 50 people so far that have stood up and said they should be free. And like I said, December 11th was supposed to be their resentencing. Well, hello, Darlene. Nice to see you back. We're talking about the Menendez. Lyle and Eric. I don't know why that name, because sometimes it rolls off my tongue just fine, and sometimes I can't. But anyhow, but because of this new DA, you know what? You've watched enough of these with me to know that I'm pretty good with words and names, but that one messes with me every time I start to say it. It messes with me. Menendez, whatever. So Lyle and Eric, but they have all kinds of family members that have stood up on their behalf. And the things that I have learned about them is that since they were given life, they could have gone into gangs, they could have done this and that and the other, but instead, since they've been in there, they've been model prisoners. They've helped other people. They've started all kinds of Menendez. That ain't helping me. that ain't helping me. Menendez. Anyhow, Eric and Lyle. So they've been model prisoners. They have. I see the laughing. I get you laughing at me. I'm laughing at myself now. It's just not. I mean, I have sat here on many nights And I've said it, it's rolled off the tongue just fine. And then there's other nights I go to say it, or other times I go to say it, and it just, I can't. Like, my mouth said, no, forget it. It ain't happening. Yeah, that didn't help me. But thank you for trying. Um, Back to what I was saying. So they've been model prisoners, they've started organizations, they've helped youth, they have finished their college education, they've gotten married. I mean, they've done so much good just behind bars. I think they would do more good out than in. And as I said the last time I talked about them, if Gypsy Rose can run loose, well, yeah, it would be. And I can speak some Spanish, and a lot of stuff is easy. And I'm talking about very basic now. I used to speak it very well, um, 45, 30 years ago, but I don't use it on a day to day basis. So I've forgotten a lot of what I learned. And it was school Spanish. I took Spanish sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. And it was school Spanish, but still, I took it for all those years. And I was very good at it. I always got straight A's in it. Um, in fact, I was so good that my Spanish teacher went to talk to my parents about me going to college and Spanish being my major so I could possibly get a job as a translator. That's how good she thought I was. My dad said, no, my daughter doesn't need to speak Spanish. She ain't ever going to need it. So um, maybe if I had finished my education there, I could say Menendez. Oh, shit, there it goes. See? So um, um, I think the problem is if I'm just talking, it comes right out. And if I think about it, it gets stuck. Don't know. Anyhow, so back to what I was saying about their family wanting them out. They've done a lot for the family. So, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it just flies right out of my mouth like it's my second language, and sometimes it doesn't fly right out of my mouth. Well, whatever. Anyway, case maybe. So we got the new DA now, and he's put off their thing till the 30th. And my theory on this is the same as it was last time I talked about this. It and I know we have Gypsy Rose fans and Gypsy Rose not fans. And when she first got released, I was behind her. And she has done so much lately that I'm no longer behind her. But she was abused. She was, at the very minimum, she was medically abused. And with that abuse, there has been a certain amount of physical, mental, emotional, whatever abuse. Did it give her the right to do what she did? No. Do I think she should still be in prison? Absolutely. I think she got out too soon. But my point, reason why I bring her up as a point, is because if they can let her go after 10 years, they've already been in prison 35. I think they can be paroled too. And she has done absolutely nothing, not a thing to improve. Oh, yeah, I've heard about it. But see, that's one I'm going to cover here soon. I almost did that tonight. There's a couple things coming up. I think I'm going to cover Joe Monet next Friday because it's right before Christmas. And she gets popular again around Christmas time. I think it's weird, but I'll cover it again. And then Susan Smith is another one. And I think Scott Peterson is, wait, oh my goodness, I was behind. So many lies, I just can't support the way she delivered. Oh, I know. But I have some things I want to say about her too when we get to talk about the brothers because I have questions. And maybe somebody can answer these questions. All right. So, because they have been model prisoners and they've already been in 35 years, I still don't see the harm in them being out on parole. Whereas you got Gypsy running around here, she was abused too, but she has been nothing but a mess. The whole time she's been loose, she's just been running around doing what the hell she wants to do. If they can let her loose, they can let the Menendez brothers loose. And see, I did it again. It rolled right off the tongue. No problems. Don't ask. So if they can let her loose, and I believe she should still be there. I believe that she should have mandatory therapy. I believe she should be in, at the very least, she should be in some sort of rehab um, with mandatory therapy. She was offered therapy while she was there. She said she didn't need it. She was fine. Well, when I first started going to therapy, I didn't know I needed it. Matter of fact, when it was first suggested, I said, I'm fine. I don't need therapy. Then I go to therapy and I find out I'm got anxiety, depression, complex PTSD, um, and trauma bonding. So I'm not as fine as I thought I was. But I ain't running around killing people either. So my point was to get back to my point. If she can run around loose, they should be out on parole too. But apparently, this new DA doesn't think so. So he's rescheduled their, instead of December 11th, he's rescheduled for January 30th. And he's already said, tell the boys not to get their hopes up. So I don't think they're going to get out. And that really kind of hurts me. I think given the age they were, the circumstances, how they've been model prisoners, how they've helped other people, they've started charities and programs, they finished their college education, all this behind bars. And she hasn't finished shit. She hasn't gotten her education. She hasn't done a damn thing. So that's why this is a two-parter tonight. Based on this other guy, this new DA, now again, this is just my speculation based on what I've seen. Don't know the man at all. I don't have any idea what he's like. Just what I've seen in interviews, just things I've heard him say, and other things. And everything I'm talking about is public. Everybody can read it themselves. They can watch the same interviews, they can read the same stories. Based on what I've seen, I personally don't think he's going to let them out. No, I don't. Now, I could be wrong about him, and I hope that I am. I do. I hope with all my heart that he is that they let him out on parole. But I don't. Based on what I've seen of this new DA, I don't think so. So this other DA, this Gascon, requested a resentencing, which would have been, instead of being life without parole, would have been 50 years. But because they were under 26 at the time it happened, it would have been, and the 35 they've already done, they'd be out. They'd be out. Yeah. That other DA, if things had moved, if they had started on this a little faster and moved and been able to, if the wheels of justice had sped up a little bit, they might be coming home for Christmas, because their court date was December 11th, but now it's January 30th, and they're not, doesn't look like they're going to get out. And again, I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't know the man. I don't know anything about him. I have no idea. I could be wrong, and if I am, I will be the first one to say, you know what? I was wrong, and I'm sorry. But based on what I know, I don't think so. And like I said, all the information I get is in the information that anybody can get anywhere. It's all public information. It's all public information. It's YouTube interviews that I've seen. It's documentaries. It's everything. Just based on what I've seen, the same information everybody else can get, I don't think they're getting out. Hold on, I've got a scratchy throat. Not that wine is helping with scratchy throat, but whatever. Fluid. And like I said, it's Friday the 13th, and I don't leave the house on Friday. Leave the house on Friday the 13th. That one bad accident did it. I don't get in a car. If I'm working and I can't get the day off work, or I can't call in sick and I have to go to work or something, then yeah, I've gotten out of the house. But I'll get out on Friday the 13th if I can avoid it. One bad accident when I was 17, and I drove anywhere on Friday the 13th since, unless I've absolutely had to. I won't even get in somebody else's car. Nope. Nope. But so that's all I really had on them. I don't have much with that. Now, I kind of brought up Gypsy as an example, but I also want to go back to Gypsy because I've been hearing a lot of rumors about her and Ken lately, that I'm hoping somebody can answer questions for me, because I'm not big on her case, because she just pisses me off. I mean, just She just pisses me off. And like I said, when she first got out, I was behind her. I was like, she was abused. She shouldn't have done what she did, but she served some time. She's on parole. Maybe she'll make something good of herself. I don't feel that way about her anymore, obviously. But back to what I was saying about her. So I've been hearing some rumors about her. And so if anybody keeps up on her rumors and shit, you can let me know in the comments what's going on with this. All right. So here's rumors I've heard about her, and I'm telling you right now, they're birds. I know they're rumors. So if anybody has answers to these rumors, let me know. The first rumor I've heard, when she was living with her mama, and they got their house in Springfield, Missouri, they got it from Habitat for Humanity. Okay, well, supposedly, I don't know how long ago, I don't know how old some of this information is, but supposedly not that long ago, Christina, her stepmom, whatever her stepmom's name is, Christina, whatever stepmom, her stepmom put in an application to Habitat for Humanity on her behalf to get her a home of her own. So hold on a minute. First of all, this is another thing. Like I said, she just pisses me off. Woman just pisses me off. If that rumor is true, and again, I'm going to state so everybody can hear me. Everybody out there, it's a rumor as far as I know. But if that rumor is true, if all that damage that her mama did with that Habitat for Humanity, and she has the balls and the audacity to get somebody to get her an application. Now, she got denied. I don't know if they figured out who it was for actually or what happened to it. Again, these are rumors. These are things I pick up here and there on TikTok or Instagram Reels or whatever. But Conspiracy, I think, was talking about it on TikTok. If that rumor is correct and she applied for a house through them, she is ballsy as hell. Like, how dare you? Gypsy tried it first, and then Christy tried it on her behalf. Yeah, it's public record. Oh my God, thank you for telling me. Because to me, that is that's it. I'm almost speechless. I'm flabbergasted. Do you know how ballsy that is? To oh my freaking God. Mama scammed that place into that house in Springfield, and then she's going to turn around and try to get a free house out of them. What the fucking why? How come? I don't understand this. Who does she think she is that she can run around and do this shit? Mind blown. Absolutely everything blown. I'm done. That's just one more reason people don't like her. That would be one more right there. And I didn't even know that was true. One more reason people don't like her. Oh, good Lord, the balls on that girl. No. That's horrible. That is absolutely horrible. I mean, I get it when the grifting first started. I know. When the grifting first started, she was a minor and her mom was doing it and she might not have known anything about it. I give her that. But she did learn, and she has said many times, I learned how to manipulate from the best. My mother taught me how to be a liar and a very good one. And I thought, well, that makes sense. Okay. So that's rumor number one. You already fixed that for me. Okay. Rumor number two. I heard that her and Ken broke up like a couple weeks ago, and they're keeping it on the down low. Like, not trying to let the world know. But the other thing I heard was, okay, she bleached her hair blonde for Ken because, I mean, she doesn't admit that. But in one of her interviews, Lifetime or whatever, she was talking to Ryan or about Ryan or something. No, she was talking to Ryan before she bleached her hair blonde, and she was talking about how Ken left her for a blonde, and she didn't want to be a blonde floozy. And then as soon as she could, she bleached her hair blonde and went after Ken. So she went after Ken. She bleached her hair blonde to go after Ken. We know this. We know this. But back to what I was saying. Okay, so rumor number two, like I said, is they broke up. That's a rumor that I think I heard. Again, I sometimes on the Instagram reels, Facebook reels, or TikTok, they now that could be true too. That might be it. But supposedly they broke up. Supposedly her hair went back to brown. She went back to being a brunette, which would lead people to believe that they did break up because Ken likes blondes. So I don't know how true that is. Now I'm down here whispering like I don't want people to hear me. There ain't no well, my son's here, but he's taking a shower, and I got dog in the living room, and she don't give a shit what I'm saying, so I don't know. But yeah, that's rumor number two. I'm kind of curious to see if anybody knows anything about that. She did go back to brunette. Well, Susan Deere was denied parole for now, so she's not going anywhere. Thinking, oh, thank you for letting me know. I will probably cover that. Probably go back into that story. Didn't that happen in Texas? Not that it matters. I mean, not that it matters where she did it, but it feels like some of these really bizarre cases are either in Texas or Colorado. Don't ask me. She's book signing and meet and greet in Louisiana today. Oh, okay. Well, of course she did. Okay, so that's the second rumor, is that her and Ken split up and she's gone back to brunette. The third rumor, and again, since we don't know the first one's true, we don't know anything about the second one. But the third rumor is since their breakup, Ken's not been feeling well. So I'm like, again, I know these are rumors. I get that. And they're out there just to be out there. I know how the internet works. The hell I'm doing. I'm on the internet. But people wanted to have only a couple people showed up. Okay. But back to this the third rumor is supposedly, like I said, they broke up. And then that part of the next part of that next rumor would be that Ken's not been feeling too good. Like he's been like really, really sick. Like really physically ill since the breakup. So I'm going to admit up front that this is all rumor and speculation. I'm guilty right now of spreading rumors. I'm not giving facts, but it made me think, if they are broke up, did she do something to him? Like my brain went, no, she wouldn't. She wouldn't hurt him, would she? So that's the third one I'm wondering about. If they did break up, then the other question, or the third rumor, or the second part to the other rumor was, if there are broke up, because like I said, there's a rumor that he's been really sick lately, like really sick lately. So it got me thinking, girl, did you do something to that man? I mean, personally, in my opinion, from the things I've seen in their interviews and their TikToks and their whatever, YouTube, whatever she does, Lifetime, they don't seem to have that strong of a chemistry anyway. Like she seems to be more into him than he is into her. Like I think when he started dating her in prison, it was probably because she was Gypsy Rose. There was the notoriety to it, blah, blah, blah. All that text about him being sick was found out to be from when she was still in prison. They broke. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. See, that helps. So I do know about the Habitat for Humanity thing is true. It just makes her a bigger piece of shit. I do know that she has dyed her hair dark again, but I don't know if they're split up. And apparently he's not sick right now, because it was making me think, girl, did you do something to that man? I mean, did you go through if I can't have him, nobody will? I mean, when she was behind prison walls, she didn't know anything about it. The girl's all on the loose, and she can fix people's food and shit. I know it's probably a terrible thing for me to say, but with her current behavior and her history of behaviors just since she's been out, not counting what she did to get her in prison. Oh Lord, I saw that. That was so nasty looking. That spaghetti dinner was nasty. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm a great cook or anything, but damn, that just looked nasty. But was it hot dogs in that? I'm like, no, you don't. I think it was hot dogs. I saw her putting that shit. I'm like, hot dogs and spaghetti. Now, and I've seen videos, lots of videos. Speaking of TikTok and Instagram Reels and whatnot, where they take a hot dog and they stick spaghetti noodles in the hot dog, and then they boil it all together. That just looks gross to me. That is just nasty. I can't imagine hot dogs and spaghetti. Blech. That is just gross. I wouldn't want her to cook my food. But yeah, wondering if they were split up, wondering if maybe she'd done something to him, but maybe she's not even split up. I don't know. The secret's in the sauce. That's a pretty good joke. I like that. Fried green tomatoes. But no, so that's all. I mean, I was wondering about with her. So one rumor was confirmed, the other two are still just rumors. Well, those little smokies. See, even if they're just little smokies, I can't imagine that being in spaghetti. It is a good movie. It is a very good movie. It was. Yeah, I found it to be. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm trying. My brain's trying to recollect. Yes, it was. Okay. Thank you. Because I was thinking of two different movies at the same time. I was, for some reason, I was thinking of Fried Green Tomatoes and another movie, and I can't remember the name of it now, but I had the two movies like mixed together like a mashup. Fried Green Tomatoes and that thing with Sally Field and Julia Roberts. Anyway, I had the two movies mixed up in my head for a minute. Like, I was somehow, my brain had them smushed together, and I don't know how, because don't ask. But so, I mean, that's all I had on the Menendez brothers. I didn't really have a big thing with them. They may not get out now, and I was kind of hoping they would. And I still Magnolias. That's it. Thank you. For some reason, I have still Magnolias in my head, and I have fried green tomatoes in my head, and they're mushed up like when they do a song mashup. They're mashed up in there, and I was seeing different parts of the movies, like, but they were to, don't ask. I don't know, and it ain't the wine. I haven't had that much wine. This is only my third glass, and wine doesn't bother me. Wine bothers me the same way. Wine is not. It's a very low alcohol anyway, but it's not like, okay, you know, people that drink a lot of beer, they can drink beer, and they can just drink it all day long. It has no effect. I can do the same thing with wine. The worst that happens to me is I might fall asleep. Sometimes I drink it for that reason. It helps me sleep at night. But no, I had the two movies mixed up for a minute. Still Magnolias and Fried Green Tomatoes, and I don't know why. I don't ask. I can't explain that one. So that's the only thing I really have for tonight. But I did kind of want to just girl chat for a second. Okay? Just kind of want girl chat for a second, since the great majority of people that watch me are women. Kind of want girl chat. Okay. So Thanksgiving came, and my daughter brought down her new boyfriend. And I don't know why everybody, when I would tell people I'm meeting my daughter's new boyfriend, everybody looked at me and said, be nice. And I thought to myself, well, what did you think I was going to do? Strangle him? Yeah, I'm going to be nice to the kid. I don't know him yet. He has not given me a reason not to like him. But anyway, he came down for Thanksgiving. And he was very polite. Very polite. Total opposite of the last guy. She was with this last guy for 7 years, and they spent the last 3 years of that 7 years engaged, but never got married, because she probably already knew this was going to go bad. When I met her last fiance, or her last boyfriend, who became her fiance, I wasn't sure about him from the beginning. Like, there was something about him that was off to me, but she loved him and she seemed happy, so I, of course, got behind it. And then the more I got to know him and the more I saw their relationship, I was like, no, no, no. So anyway, they've been broke up for a year now. She is a great actress. Kathy Bates is one of my favorites. Her and Melissa McCarthy. Or yeah, McCarthy. That's her name. Um, it's Kathy Bates is a great actress, and she can do serious. She can do funny. She can do any of them. And I like Melissa McCarthy a lot. Jenny McCarthy's cousin. Yeah, Melissa McCarthy. I think she's freaking hilarious. I can sit and watch her in almost anything. Um, but so my daughter brings down her new boyfriend, and very upfront, like come in the door, gave me a hug. The first one, when I met him, he acted like he was afraid to come in my house, like I was going to kill him or something. This one comes in the door, he gives me a hug, he introduces himself. Um, I like to drink whiskey once in a while. I'm a bad person, I guess. And he brought me my favorite bottle of my favorite whiskey. I've had a little bit of it. I haven't had a lot. It's still on my dining room table. But he bought me a bottle of my favorite whiskey. We sat and talked about music. He likes all the same music I like. Because I still listen to shit. I listened to a lot of shit from the 80s and 90s, but I still listen to a lot of rock and roll, like Foo Fighters and stuff like that, Red Hot Chili Peppers, things like that. We sat and talked about Foo Fighters, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and all that kind of stuff for a while. Oh, he just loves the same kind of music. So anyway, as we're all sitting here Thanksgiving night, me and my daughter both love true crime. And we got to talking about true crime. And I could tell he has a mind for it. Like he's not like an interest. So I brought up the Chris Watts case. He'd never heard of it. I'm like, what bubble have you lived in? What bubble have you lived in that you've not heard of Chris Watts? And he's not from Colorado, but he goes to Colorado on a fairly regular basis for vacations. Matter of fact, he's taking my daughter to Colorado for Valentine's Day. He's got some sort of surprise picked out for her. I hope it goes well. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, so we were talking about true crime, and I brought up Chris Watts, and my daughter started to explain it, and she realized she was missing. That's what I'm thinking. So she starts to tell him the story, and she glances over at me at one point, and she realizes by the look on my face that she's messed some stuff. And she went, "You know what? I'll let my mom tell it." So I told him, I gave him a synopsis. It took me about 15 minutes to give him a decent synopsis of the case. And he's like, "Really?" I said, "Hold on a minute." I said, "Do me a favor." I said, "I'm going to play a video for you, and I want you to watch it, and I want you to give me your honest reaction." So I found a good video of the porch interview with Chris. And I said, "Now watch this whole interview and give me your thoughts." He watched the interview and looked at me and looked at my daughter, and he said, "He did it." And I'm like, see, everybody gets that from the porch interview is what did it for me. The porch interview is what did it for me. As a matter of fact, I was still with my ex-husband when it happened. And I was sitting on the couch when the news story came across the TV set. A Colorado woman, blah, 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 is missing, and da, 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 da. And then the porch interview came on. I looked at my husband right then and there, and I said, "He did it." And my husband looked at me and said, "What makes you think that?" I said, "Look at him. He's guilty as shit. He did it." My husband laughed at me and said, "Oh, you're just assuming all men are evil." I'm like, "No, I'm still with you, ain't I? I don't want lectures on that." But anyway, back to the boyfriend. So, I play part of that for him. And he looked at me and he said, "Excuse me for saying this," because he was trying to be polite. He looked at me and he said, "Excuse me for saying this, but that bitch is crazy." I said, "Yes." So I showed him some of Shanann's Facebook videos or little clips, and I showed him some of um, Nicole Kissinger's videos, and I showed him some more Chris stuff, and he said, "Wait a minute, hold on, let me get this straight. Let me understand this." He said, "That man left Shanann," and he was pointing at the picture on the TV set, and then he had him point at another picture on the TV set. Left Shanann, was cheating on Shanann with that, and I went, "Yes." And then he killed her. And he said, "For that, in the brown bikini." I went, "Yes." He said, "No, first of all, I'm not giving him an okay on any of it." He said, "But why?" He said, "Cheating's wrong on any level." He said, "But," he said, "Cheating's wrong on any level. Doesn't matter." He said, "But why would you cheat on that for that?" I went, "I don't know. We don't." I said, "Well," and I'm not real shy. Y'all, anybody watches me know if I'm not real shy. And I kind of looked at him. And I was afraid I might embarrass my daughter or even him. I just turned my head to the side and I went, "Well, apparently she likes booty stuff and he does too." And that's all I said. And I looked away because I didn't want, my daughter's sitting there and he's sitting next to my daughter. And I was kind of embarrassed to say it, but I'm like, apparently the big thing was she likes booty stuff. And they both started cracking up. But he seems like a nice guy. He's big into true crime. Like, he turns out he really, really likes true crime. So he started picking my brain for the stuff I do know. And I'm like, I got stories. I have got stories. I have got stories that have been laid to rest for years. I've got stories that people have never heard of. I did one last Friday night on a little girl named Ayla. I think that was her name, was Ayla. They think the dad did it, but they can't find the dad and they can't find the body. She's been missing for years. They never found her body, but they believe she's dead and they can't find the dad. So that she's still missing, still a cold case. But he picked my brain on various things. He was just a very nice person. So that's kind of what I wanted to girl chat about. I'm not going to keep everybody up a whole lot longer. But yeah, he was here. And he was very nice. Like I said, he brought me a little bottle of bourbon whiskey. Southern Comfort is what he brought. He brought me a bottle of Southern Comfort because Alyssa told him I liked it. So he brought me a bottle. Very polite, gave me a hug, gave me a hug when he walked in and gave me a hug when he left. Here's the problem I'm having with it. And that's kind of why I want to talk to y'all. First of all, I'm like any parent. I love my child very much. I will fight to the death for my child. He does sound nice, but here's the thing. My ex seemed like a really nice guy at first. He was love bombing, and I didn't know what that was. Her ex seemed like a nice guy. He seemed a little off to me. Oh, she is. She's an accomplice full on. I talk about her a lot because of Dylan Tallman's book. I think she absolutely did it. Absolutely, positively did it, or played a role in it. And I can get into that another time. That's what I'm going to be covering on Wednesday. I think I'm going to go back into the Dylan Tallman books again, because there's a lot of things that was brought up in Behind Criminal Minds video about Dylan Tallman's book. Things that I think I covered, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to have to try to get a hold of those. I'm going to try to get into those. But anyway, back to the boyfriend. So my ex seemed like he was a wonderful person until he wasn't. Her first seemed like he was pretty good. There was moments I have doubt I had with him, but all in all, he seemed okay until he wasn't. This guy seems phenomenal, and I don't want her to be another statistic. I want him to always be the guy he is now. If he can, excuse me, if he can continue to be the guy he is now, then she has found her Prince Charming. She has found her perfect man because he seems to care a lot about her. He's got this wonderful romantic vacation plan for them and over Valentine's Day in Colorado. Um, he's got so much planned that I know about. I I want to. There's no way of knowing. I know that until there's no way for me to know that he's good. I just have to take it day by day. And I probably shouldn't worry about shit that may never happen. But because there are so many men out there now that feel so emboldened and they feel like, and it's not just emboldened, it's there's so many men out there now that just seem to have an attitude. I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say. He's a really nice guy. He seems sweet and he probably is wonderful. And I would never, ever, time will tell. All you can do is hope that you have taught your daughter well. I have taught her well. And my therapist told me the same thing. She said, all you can do is sit back, Mom. You can't do a thing about it. You just sit back and pray that she knows what she's doing and that she follows her. Right now, she's following her heart, though. She's not following her head. I mean, we all go through that, especially with somebody new. So I get what you're saying. My therapist told me the same thing. All I can do is just pray that he is good. I want to believe that he is everything he seems to be. I want that more. I want that for more than anything else on this planet. And she's smart. She catches on to shit pretty damn quick. She makes me look like a fucking idiot. But she's very smart. She's very self-sufficient. She does everything she needs to do. I probably don't have anything to worry about. Like I said, she was engaged to the other weirdo, but she never married him, and there's a reason she didn't marry him. You know what I'm saying? Like she knew back here, maybe she didn't know it in the forefront, but she knew it back here why she shouldn't have married him, and she didn't. And then she finally just dumped him. And now she's with somebody else, and he treats her good. Like I said, he came down here, they had a good time. I liked him. I liked watching her with him. I like watching their behavior together. They make me happy. Stay away from Frederick if she's going to Colorado. Places cursed. I don't know where they're going. I can probably find out from her. I don't think it's Frederick. If he says he wants to take her to tour the Watts house, I'm like, no, don't go. No, but all kidding aside, I don't think they're going anywhere near there. I think they're going somewhere I think they're going to Denver. But yeah, I just kind of wanted a girl to talk about that because Thanksgiving is good. Thanksgiving was very good. I'm very happy for her. I hope he stays the course. Fingers crossed. Everybody cross your fingers. Everybody cross your fingers. So that's good news. And like I said, I didn't hear anything else. When he watched that porch interview, the first thing he said, well, he did it. And I loved that. I was like, oh, of course he did it. So he seems like he's really into troop. When my daughter got home from Thanksgiving, first time, because they're still just dating. They don't live together, but she spends a lot of time at his house. But anyway, when she first got home, she sent me a message and she said, Mama, tell me what you thought of him. And I said, well, he seems like a very nice guy. I like him a lot. And I paid him a few compliments. And I said, but now you have to tell me what he thought of me. And she said, oh, he thinks you're hilarious. He thinks you're funnier than shit. And she said that he told her, now I know why you are the way you are, because you are just like your mother. And I stopped for a minute and I said, wait a minute. Am I supposed to take that as a compliment or as an insult? And she laughed and she said, that's a compliment. I said, okay. So maybe he's okay. But yeah, the Chris Watts thing, I remember telling it to my husband. My husband's like, "Oh, you think all men are horrible?" And I'm like, didn't want to say what I was really thinking when he said that. I just, yeah, he's partly why I have PTSD. He is why I have trauma bonding. He's partly why I have complex PTSD. I had it before I met him, but he sure the shit didn't help it. But that's a different chapter. That's a long time ago. Um, but yeah, I remember watching that interview. I like showing that interview to people that don't know the case because I like watching their immediate reaction. I like watching um, the immediate reaction when they see that interview on the porch. I like watching their, oh, he did it, or the interviews with Nicole and she's going, why? Or she can't say Shanann's name, and if she does, she's got her hands all clenched around the throat. And I also like showing them some of Shanann's stuff from Facebook because I like to show the difference, the vast difference between Shanann and Nicole. Shanann's up here, Nicole's down here in her dirty butt brown bikini, shit brown bikini, shit brown house. That reminds me. On Wednesday's video, I asked y'all a question, okay? And I checked my comments and I've not seen an answer. And I know there's only 3 of you watching and only 2 of you really participating. Maybe one of you will have an answer. Who picked baby Nico's name? Was it Shanann that picked it or was it Chris? And the reason why I asked, and I asked this Wednesday, and I'm still trying to find this out, because Nicole Kessinger's name was Nicole Lee Kessinger. Baby Nico's name was going to be Nico Lee. Nicole Lee, Nico Lee. So it made me wonder, up here in the noggin, made me go, wait a minute. Did he pick that name for that baby? You know how horrible that would be? That's just one more thing against him. That's one more strike against him. If he picked that, if he was naming that baby after his mistress, Nico Lee, Nicole Lee. I got Hop and Sharon Riley. I'm fighting my girl day. Shanann picked it. Nico is an Italian name. It's just coincidence. Okay, well, thank you, and you enjoy your shower. And I'm going to wrap this up anyway. I just kind of wanted to cover those 2 stories, and I want to do a little bit of girl talk. The smirk, the smirk on his face. No kidding. A lot of people thought that, but Shanann picked it. Because, see, it just seems so coincidental, man. Nico Lee and Nicole Lee. Maybe I'm the only one that saw that. Apparently not. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Darlene wants to take a shower. I didn't have much for tonight. I covered the Menendez thing, and I talked about Gypsy Rose rumors, and I covered the personal girl chat I wanted to have. And I appreciate y'all for popping in. I know the crew will watch it later. My replay crew will catch it later. There'll be things, but thank you for letting me know, because I had myself going, wait a minute, did he pick that? But you're right. I do remember hearing that somewhere else. Everybody have a lovely evening. Take care. Be nice to each other. Be kind. There's a lot in the world that's not right. We need to count on each other. Okay? I love each and every one of you. Y'all be good. Be safe.